I've loved Yu-Gi-Oh since I was a tiny kid growing up in the 2000s, and I can't pretend that this year has been the hardest for me to enjoy in a very long time. Being a Yu-Gi-Oh kid, I didn't play other card games. I didn't play any card games for a very long time other than Yu-Gi-Oh at all. I didn't really enjoy them. I think Yu-Gi-Oh had a really fun thing going with the no mana system, all balls to the wall crazy combos, and the introduction of the new extra deck types every year or so. It was very good. You know, it really helped me stick with the game. There was always something new and something evolving. And I haven't felt that for a little bit. I don't even think the game's in a particularly unhealthy state. Obviously there's some disgustingly powerful decks that need checking, and I still think it's really fun to play Yu-Gi-Oh! My problem is I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For a very long time, and it kind of just felt like there's no difference in the way I would play any deck. For example, like I was testing out the new XYZ Dragon Cannon cards that are coming at some point in the next couple of months, maybe next year. And I'm building these boards, and my friend just asked me, it's like, what does the deck do? I was like, well, I'm going to combo off, I'm going to do some link summoning, and then I'm going to pass on some kind of floodgate, maybe a nightmare. And then the opponent can't really do that much, and if they do, then I can pop a thing. And then my friend pointed out, isn't that what every deck in Yu-Gi-Oh does? And I was like, well, not really, I've got Runic, which lets me draw lots of stuff and banish off the top of their deck, but then, I was thinking about it, when I'm playing Runic, I'm comboing off, and then I'll do maybe a Synchro Summon instead of a Fusion Summon. Before Baron was banned, I'd make that Omni Negate and pass, and then I was just thinking about it, there's so many decks, I play so many different decks, and so much of it is, a reskin. It's one guy who's going to eat something, whether that be a Banish or a Negate or a Pop. It's going to be one kind of floodgate, maybe that be a trap, maybe that be a spell, maybe that be a monster. And it just feels like, no matter how many cards I get, I'm just going to do the same thing every single time. And it kind of broke my brain a little bit. And I've always known it about Yu-Gi-Oh! We've always, every time some cool new Link monster comes out, there's a way to do it. And I felt this earlier in previous decks, like Infernity. Nobody plays Infernity, it's not a great deck. But when I play Infernity, I can make like the 4 material Appaloosa and the Floodgate and get the counter trap. I was like, well, what's the difference between this and the really good decks? And the point is, the really good decks, they can come back if they get messed up. Snake Eyes stuff has a bunch of graveyard effects. If you blow up my Infernity board, I can't really do very much. Whereas if you blow up my Snake Eye board, I can build it all over again the next turn. But that isn't different. That's the same thing. Again. And that's when I finally broke. And I tried Magic the Gathering and enjoying Commander Magic. The idea that you can pick one fella and the whole deck is built around them. That's really fun. The fact that you have access to them at all times, there's a mechanic that balances how many times you can summon them in a game, and it was sort of a rabbit hole spiral from there. I've been trying all sorts of different decks, and I just can't get enough of it, and I'm sure maybe I'll leave this honeymoon phase of Magic the Gathering, but Magic the Gathering Arena is really fun and really simple, and it's been helping me get into the game. And I've been building and going to my locals and playing Commander, and it's really fun. And it's such a different experience from Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals. Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals, you go there and you're like, everyone's got a machine gun, and everyone's there and they want to win real quick. You sit across from your opponent, they're going to try and rule shark you, and not in like a mean way. That's the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. That's my problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! The only way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to win or to throw. You can play a funny deck, you can play your pet deck, you can play Neospatians if you want. But the guy across from you is probably not playing Neospatians. They're probably playing Snake Eyes. And that's not wrong of them, because they are spending their money on their deck. They've spent their money on their entry fee. They want to win. They want to win the packs. Whereas, going to a Commander night, everybody's playing stupid stuff. Even the sweatiest tryhard. It's 3v1. You can just kill him. And yeah, there's obviously problems. And I'm new to Magic the Gathering, so I'm sure there's even more problems that I haven't found yet. But the atmosphere is so different. I sit at the table and I go, it's my first time playing. And then everybody at the table is like going, oh yeah, you should try this, you should try that. Obviously, there are Yu-Gi-Oh! People who do that, but they don't do it in the match. And I'm sure if I went to competitive Magic or whatever, it would be a very different thing. But casual Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't really exist because there's no real way to balance casual Yu-Gi-Oh! Because if I say, okay, let's bring casual decks, to some casual deck means, a bad deck, no staples, no hand traps, no nothing. To others, it would be the most optimal Gradle deck. So you're going to be playing all of the good search spells, you're going to be playing all the good removal spells, but the problem is that your main win con is Gradles, so you're not going to win very often. However, if you bring that to the old Timmy, who doesn't have anything, Gradle Optimal is probably going to be really bad pile of Blackwings with no interruptions, nothing out of the archetype, you know? It's just going to be that way. And so we can't really define what casual is, and I see all these custom formats. People are trying so hard to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Into something different, something slower. I made a video on Time Wizard formats, and I think that is the only way to make a different format of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because if we're looking at other formats of Yu-Gi-Oh!, we're just essentially turning them into Commander. And so why are we putting all this effort into trying to force the square peg of Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the round hole of Commander, when the game isn't really built for it? Without the mana system, there's no way to buy time. Without any kind of limitations, if you take away the ban list, we'll play all the broken stuff. If you add a ban list, it becomes arbitrary. Why should one archetype's boss be banned and not another, when they're both fairly similar? Just because one archetype is better than another. It's ridiculous. It becomes arbitrary after a certain amount of time. I'm not being super negative. I've just sort of realised that unless something big comes soon, it's not going to just be a ban list, because when they ban the good cards, they print more good cards. It's not going to be banning Kishtira saves the game, because then Snake Eyes becomes the best deck, and when they ban Snake Eyes, something else will be the best deck. I've tried all sorts of different decks. I've tried Stoli decks, I've tried OTK decks, and there's just something so fundamental about the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is done in turn 2 or 3 sometimes, and that's crazy. We're here to play a game. I'm not here to do like laps. I want to play with the cards. I want to see the art. I want to summon cool guys. I want to do a cool win con. And that is just not what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is right now. And unless something really changes, I don't think we're going to get there. People complain about length of card text. That's stupid. All card games have long card text except for the boring ones. And Yu-Gi-Oh's always had long card text right back to the beginning. But I do think unless something simplifies it, it's just going to choke itself to death, like a snake eating its own tail. I still love Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. I need Yu-Gi-Oh! To do something, and it's been really hard without an anime to watch, and I know Sevens is there, but I don't play Sevens. I liked being able to see the decks that I could play in real life in the show, and until Sevens comes to the West, it's not going to be any time soon that I can watch Sevens, the anime, and feel like I could recreate that combo. Rush Dueling is actually really fun and is maybe the way to save Yu-Gi-Oh! But I don't think it's going to work now because of this East-West divide on the release. Maybe if they'd all done it together at the beginning, we could have all jumped on. I could rewatch the old animes, but it just makes me sad that we've left that period of time where Yu-Gi-Oh! Was so simple and close to the anime that we could recreate. The play where Jaden Yugi uses Mirage of Nightmare to draw, but then MSTs his own Mirage of Nightmare to avoid the discard effect. That's really cool. That was a good play even for a real duel. Whether it be the Banlists collection I put together, whether it be the full number collection or the hero collection that I put together, which I'm going to have to keep updating because of those new evil heroes that are coming out soon. There's loads of cool things to enjoy about Yu-Gi-Oh! Outside of just playing the game. And that's why I'm still going to keep selling and buying and trading cards. But it's just hard to bring myself to get really excited to play the game. But that might be your benefit. Because, you know, I've got a lot of cards that I've collected over the years, and I'm planning to send them to someone who needs them. I want to give away for free staples and interruptions and hand traps and all sorts of things to help people get into the game. And if you come onto my whatnot, then I will be giving away stuff. I'm going to be giving away packs, I'm going to be giving away cards, and I want to make sure that even though I might not be playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, you could still be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yourself. And have no fear, if you are a Yu-Gi-Oh! Boomer just like myself and you're feeling the burn, then I will be helping you escape. I'm going to be giving away Digimon decks, I'm going to be giving away Magic the Gathering decks, I'm going to be giving away packs, I'm going to be giving away all sorts on other streams. If you go to my One-Up profile, there's Digimon streams there, there's Yu-Gi-Oh! Streams, there's Magic the Gathering streams. Bookmark the ones you want, and you can get some freebies from all these different games. I think Digimon is maybe the most fun of all of the card games, but I've talked about that before. If you sign up for the first time to Whatnot, then you get £10 free on the platform. So please do join through the link in my description or through the link that's on the screen right now, and just make sure that you have a look if you want some freebies. Obviously there's only a few booked right now, but I'll be adding these streams over the whole year, so just keep your eye on it and you'll get your chance to get some freebies from my collection. Steal my goods, please. I want them to go to good homes. The podcast has also been nominated for an award. We didn't win it because I didn't promote it, but you know, the nomination was nice. Thank you very much. Until next time, I hope you're enjoying whatever card game you might be falling into, but let me know in the comments, do you worry the same way I do about the future of Yu-Gi-Oh?